In our previous video, we talked about the social issues in Japan. If you haven't seen that video yet, I suggest you watch it first. If you have seen it, keep on watching. Today we'll be discussing Japanese etiquette and fun facts.
Different scenarios require different manners. For now, we're going to pretend that we're in a restaurant in Japan. The first thing you may come across in a restaurant is oshibori, or a moist towel. It is used to clean your hands before a meal. To avoid seeming rude, do not use the oshibori to clean your face or during a meal. The second thing you're going to come across is talking. Specifically, you'll hear people say and should say itadakimasu before eating. Itadakimasu translates to I humbly receive and is said while making a prayer-like motion. At the end of the meal, you'll hear and should say gochisama deshita. Gochisama deshita is said at the end of the meal and can be used to thank whoever made the meal. Thank whoever paid for the meal or used to compliment the service in a restaurant.
Another part of restaurant etiquette is the use of chopsticks. Some incredibly rude things that you should not do with your chopsticks is use them to stir soup, lick the ends, stab food with them, or use them for anything other than eating. In other words, no, it is not okay to use your chopsticks as drumsticks. Even though we could talk about restaurant etiquette a lot longer, we're going to shift our focus. Now, let's talk about business etiquette.
Believe it or not, sitting positions in business situations are important. People from the same company all sit on one side of the table, with the person buying the product sitting the farthest away from the door. If you are new and unsure where to sit, the receptionist should show you where to sit. If this doesn't happen, it is okay to ask the receptionist to show you where to sit.
Another important part of Japanese business etiquette is the use of business cards. To show the person giving you the card proper respect, accept the card with two hands. If you're in a business meeting, you should carefully put the card on the table in front of you. You should expect to receive a lot of business cards and should buy a business card case. If you receive a business card in a meeting, put the card in the case after the meeting. Although many people keep all of their business cards because the more you have, the more respect you are given by your peers, you may need to get rid of some of them. If so, you need to put the card through a paper shredder.
The last but just as important topic about business etiquette involves leaving before the boss. In Japan, effort is considered a team thing instead of an individual thing. Due to this, employees often stay late because their team is not done and may stay even if they have nothing to do. Overall, no one leaves before the boss.
For the sake of time, we're not going to discuss any more etiquette. If you wish to learn more, check our sources.
Our first fun fact involves cats and coffee. In other words, our first fun fact is about cat cafes. Japan has nearly 150 cat cafes, with each holding 12 to 24 cats. These cat cafes, which allow customers to consume food, drink, and cuddle with cats, are popular in Japan. The popular is likely due to the fact that many Japanese people don't have the time or space for cats. Even though cat cafes are popular in Japan, they originated in Taiwan. The first cat cafe, called Cat Flower Garden, was opened in Taipei, Taiwan in 1988. Cat cafes provide a calming and casual atmosphere but have some rules. For instance, guests aren't allowed to wake up sleeping cats, hold unhappy cats, or take pictures of cats using a flash camera. If cat cafes have piqued your interest, I suggest you travel to Tokyo. The majority of the cat cafes in Japan are located in Tokyo.
Our talk of animal-related attractions doesn't stop with cats. Surprisingly, Japan doesn't just have cat cafes, but also has a fox village. At the fox village, you can touch foxes, see baby foxes, and even hold a fox. All foxes are raised in the fox village, which is basically a zoo. The fox village has open areas filled with foxes, fox houses, and fox shrines. If you wish to learn more, I suggest you watch Rachel and June's video about the fox village. A link will be given in the description box.
I think it's about time that we mention my favorite fun fact. It is something that isn't well known. In fact, so few know about it, or rather them, that it was hard to find information.
In other words, we're going to be talking about female samurai.
Honor and glory were only things male samurai could achieve until Takeko Nakao came along. Takeko was a female samurai who created a unit of samurai women that consisted of hundreds of women. Takeko decided to create the army after rumors were spread that invaders were going to rape and sell the Aizu women to foreign powers. After cutting her own hair and her sister's hair to resemble the hair of male samurai, Takeko and her army met up with the remains of the Aizu army.
Sadly, the Aizu army commander considered the women a disgrace, even though they were actually useful. To terminate the fight, the women responded by saying that they would kill themselves if they were not allowed to fight with the men. In the end, they were allowed to fight with the men. According to Aizu Chronicles, Takeko was an extremely skilled fighter who was killed in battle due to a gunshot wound. Just what could this tale mean for history? Well, it means that women fought in a lot more battles than most history books care to admit.
You might be wondering how the female samurai fought. Did they fight with swords? Did they wear samurai armor? The answer to those two questions are no. While the answer to the second question is more of a maybe, since there are a few pictures on the internet that depict female samurai wearing light armor. Anyway, the samurai women fought looking like this, and fought with this. The spear-like weapon is called the naginata. This weapon allowed female samurai to fight from a distance, and therefore reduced the likelihood of getting injured when fighting an opponent. The art of using a naginata is still taught in Osaka, Japan, with it currently being considered a sport. In other words, the naginata no longer has a blade at the top. If you wish to learn more about female samurai, I suggest you check out our sources.
Our videos are short because they're made for people who are in a bit of a hurry. Even if you are busy, I suggest you take the time to subscribe. Subscribing is free and should notify you when we upload a video. For all of November, we've made videos about Japan. Next month, we'll be focusing on China.